Hello and welcome to Adventure Light. My name is Tom, and in this video I'm going to be comparing two sets of trail running shoes, the Higher State Soil Shaker trail running shoes and the More Mile CHEVIOT Pace running shoes. Lockdown has not been great for most people, but there has been a couple of silver linings, and for me the main silver lining has been that it's given me an opportunity to take up trail running. I am still very much a novice, averaging about 20k a week, doing a couple of 10k runs and occasionally pushing myself and doing longer runs. So my review is very much from a newbie or a novice perspective. But then again, I think that the kind of people who are going to be looking at these budget trail running shoes are going to be newbies or novices anyway. So I'm hoping that you'll find this review of some help. So both of these shoes are available for under £30. The Soil Shakers are almost always available for about £29.99 on the Sports Shoes website, and the CHEVIOT Pace running shoes are available on a number of websites, but I've seen them as low as £25, which is very good. I think I paid about £22 or £23 for these because I managed to get a £10 voucher for somewhere, so they were a real bargain. The recommended retail price for both of them is significantly higher, but I don't think in reality anyone would ever pay the recommended retail price for them, because there's much better shoes out there for those kind of prices. So just looking at the specs of the shoes, these come in at around about 790 grams on my kitchen scales, and these come in at 590 grams on my scale. So there is quite a significant difference, and I can really feel the difference in weight in my hands, but also when they're on my feet as well. So I think if you're looking for something lightweight, then the CHEVIOT Pace has the advantage over the Soil Shaker. So if we start by looking at the soles of these shoes, you'll notice that both of them have a very aggressive tread, nice deep lugs. You'll notice there's more lugs on the Soil Shaker than there is with the CHEVIOT Pace, but I've not noticed any difference in grip. I would say that the Soil Shaker is a little bit harder to clean because there's more spaces for the mud to gather, and I think after a run these are generally more clogged up than these. These clean a lot easier just with a couple of bashes. Most of the mud comes out. So if anything, I'd say that I prefer the soles on the Soil Shaker, not the Soil Shaker, sorry, on the CHEVIOT Pace. But then again, that's probably a personal preference. Others might prefer these. So then if we go on to talk about the cushioning, the cushioning on the Soil Shakers does feel marginally better than on the CHEVIOT Pace. I found with the CHEVIOT Pace, occasionally when I'm running where there's small rocks, I can feel them through the soles, but to a much lesser extent with the Soil Shakers. So I would say I would give a point to the Soil Shakers for the cushioning. The real difference between these two comes down to the uppers, and that is where the CHEVIOT Pace wins hands down. With the CHEVIOT Pace, there is some sort of plastic coating on the uppers, which I think is there to provide some protection to the material, and there is some signs of cracking there. But the uppers appear really well attached to the soles. There's very little wear and tear. The fabric looks in good condition. Essentially, there's just very minimal sort of damage as there were to the uppers on the CHEVIOT Pace shoes, and that's after about 150 to 200 k's of running. When it comes to the Soil Shakers though, I'm afraid they have not performed anywhere near as well as the More Mile shoes. the fabric along the sides, where most of the flex is when you're running, has started to crack on both shoes and in the same places. So on the inside and the outside of the shoe, it's starting to crack. But not only that, where that cracking is happening, the uppers do appear to be coming free from the soles, which is really disappointing. So I will be sending these back to Sports Shoes to try and get either a refund or a replacement. I have had an email from Sports Shoes, and they have said that they will, obviously have a look at them and decide what the best course of action is. So I'll update this video once I get a reply from them about what they plan to do with these shoes. So another difference between these two uppers is that the uppers on the Soil Shakers are a lot more complicated. There's a lot more pieces of fabric, a lot more seams, a lot more stitching. The material feels a lot thicker and kind of spongier. That basically means that when these shoes get wet, they tend to absorb a lot more water and they feel a lot heavier than the CHEVIOT Pace. It also means that they're quite a lot harder to clean as well. Because they absorb a lot more water, it takes them a lot longer to dry. So when it comes to absorbing water, cleaning and drying, the More Miles definitely have the advantage. There's a lot more simpler design, a lot easier to clean, and they dry off a lot quicker than the Soil Shakers. So that's another advantage, I believe, with the CHEVIOT Pace. So in conclusion, if I was to advise one shoe over the other, I would advise the CHEVIOT Pace over the Soil Shaker. The CHEVIOT Pace is lighter weight, it's a lot easier to clean, it dries off a lot quicker, and it's just held up a lot better to general wear and tear than the Soil Shakers, which I'm afraid I'm going to have to send back, hopefully for a refund, because I don't think they've really stood up to the kind of use that I'd expect from a pair of trail running shoes. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe or comment, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.